Hey, everybody. Hi, it is February. Happy February. I am Colette Baron-Reid, but you probably already knew that because you're watching me. And I'm here to do the monthly collective reading, basically the energy report for all of us, kind of like what's the umbrella that's over everybody right now that we're all going to be visiting this month. Yes, it is snowing. No, there it is. It's snow over here. So, I know I've been normally doing these videos from a studio, but I so love being able to just do it from my office. So here's what we're doing. We're doing it from my office. That's what we're doing. Okay, so I have good news. What is February going to be like for all of us? And I do feel a tremendous change in the wind. And of course, all of us would have, because we're going to look at the astrology. We know that Pluto entered Aquarius, and we should be feeling a change. That is the ruled by the Pluto is all about hidden treasures, right? Really, and it's transformation, death transformation, but really hidden treasures. What beauty comes out of that? And of course, we're talking about the collective, uniqueness, AI, all kinds of really interesting things are going to happen in the next 20 years. And we were born for this. So I am personally excited about this. Now, let's look. I'm going to do a 15 card spread. I'm using the Shaman's Dream Oracle this month. Why? Because, well, it matches my outfit, doesn't it? No, because I've actually been using it in my membership site this weekend when I was doing Spirit Jam, and they're so accurate. And they're really, for those of you who are new to the deck, this deck was created by myself and Alberto Vialdo. And we really took the archetype of the shaman archetype. It has nothing to do with cultural shamanism. It's more about that we are all sacred dreamers, is what it says right here, dreaming the world into being. And so what dream are we collectively having? So that's one of the reasons why I decided to use this particular deck for the reading this month. So let's talk about our main theme, which are the first three cards. And I'm going to start. Now, I don't have an overhead camera. I used to have that, but I don't have it now. So I'm going to have to just tell you what it is. Okay, so what is our main theme for everybody? And it is about authenticity, really about who are you authentically this month in February. It is a relational month too. So with yourself, the many masks card came up. So who are you truly? You know, look at all the different masks that you wear to communicate with people. Do you wear a different mask on social media? Do you wear a different mask at home with your family? Do you wear a different mask when you're with your romantic partners? Who are you at work? And how do you integrate all of that into your specific authentic self that is truly you, where you don't have to pretend at all or defend anything? I think this is really important for everybody to be thinking about this month. Also, who am I surrounding myself with? That's also really important. It is a month where everyone is being invited to consider, and again, this is more of a prescriptive reading, predictive in the fact that I'm sharing with you what it says in terms of the energy, which we can then conclude certain things about that. But I don't believe in absolute determinism. I really believe that we are the co-creators of our lives. We really absolutely, certainly when things come that are the collective that overrides that can happen. But ultimately, if you're watching this video, you have to remember, oh, I am a co-creator of my life. I can have an impact on my reality by the way I think, how I believe, what I do, how I behave, how I interact with others. So what's crucial this month is deep quiet. So first we got many masks, this card. I think I can show you this, many masks, this card, 38. Then we have deep quiet, which is meditation and stillness. So regardless of everything that's going on in the world at the moment, this is a practice that needs to help us also get our nervous systems in alignment, right? We want to ensure that we're not constantly rehearsing stress and the expectation of the worst. We want to bring ourselves into a different form of alignment with a more peaceful sense of within you, where that's where you make different decisions. That's where you can make a decision that is not based on reactivity, for example. That's going to be really important this month as well, too. And why do I say that about the idea of not being reactive is because the other card is about rising the eyes of the eagle rising above the fray, which is, looking at life from the 30,000 foot view. I was hanging out. I had the best time. I was away most of January, and I'm part of the Transformational Leadership Council, and I hung out with somebody named Natalie Ledwell, who owns Mind Movies. I think you probably all know that. She's part of the group that I'm in, and I hadn't really got to know her yet. And she made this incredible post about, having a 1 foot view when we're right up close and we're in that thing, and then having that 100-foot view where, oh yeah, this is my little world. But then when you take that, that 30,000 foot view, when you have the big picture of things, it's less personal. It's much more, we see a collective view when we are in something. We're right in it. We're just in it. And we don't see beyond that opinion, that group, that conversation, that, all those things that can become too close when we don't have the capacity to be a little bit more detached. Now, that doesn't mean bypass better. I'm allergic to that. And I think it's important that we recognize that, when we discover that we're living inauthentically, for example, it can be painful. So not to avoid any difficult feelings and emotions. They're super important to tell us where we are, how we need to heal, what our next right action is. So that's also something to consider as well. So a detached, and that's actually Aquarius, very much that Aquarius concept, which is being detached and being able to see the big picture there, and also being able to be a more in the transpersonal rather than the personal. So we are really redefining ourselves as who are we? Who are we in society? What do we stand for? What is mine? What is mine to offer? Is a really good question for everybody to ask this month. What is mine to offer in this relationship? Given also February is really the month of relationality. So we go from Aquarius into Pisces at the end of the month. So let's now, so that's our main theme, right? Try to detach as best we can with still by being very present. Loving detachment is being in it without being it, right? We wear the world as a loose garment in February, and we learn what is true for me, what is authentic to me and my values, and can I think before I act or react? That's really, really good for everybody. Okay, so now let's see where we're naturally heading, which are the next 3 cards. So I'm going to choose that. Oh, beautiful. Okay. Yes. You can't make this shit up. Oops, I said that word. But I'm a mystical pirate and I say words like that. Okay, here we go. The first card as we're moving forward is a reminder. It is called In the Hand, the Universe is Your Partner, right? So our number one priority, and I always say that if it's a relational month, how is my relationship to my higher power? What does that look like? And do I trust it? I think that's the other thing. Or am I scrambling and constantly trying to just do things my way? Because that's something to also consider this month for everybody, right? Is like, am I trusting in spirit? Because what I see looks like, whoa, that doesn't look good. But that's all man-made. That's anything that we see that is chaotic, destructive, is made by man or human beings. It's not spirit that does that. It's either our greed or our need to others, etc. So if we are in a unified consciousness, which is true, that is really our true state of being, is unity. All the division that we see is unnatural to all of us. So when we put our spiritual values first, that drops away organically. Straddling worlds means we're not there yet, which is, yes, we need to focus on that, but we also have to recognize that we're in between worlds. Would you like to come up? Sorry, my dog. She's not feeling good. Come here. Okay, come here, boo-boo. There we go. There you go. We are going to be on the video now. Are you going to pull a card with mommy? There you go. Okay. So back to the reading. So when we look at straddling worlds, we're wandering between realms. Wandering between realms. See, that's the card of not being there yet. That's the in-between card. So we're heading towards a period where we're not there yet, where we're probably really tired and exhausted. Because why? Because the dream thief is there. That the call, this is a very interesting card. Actually, funny, it's Alberto didn't like the art on that card. I loved it. This is crazy little being, because it's the idea of what happens to us when we're called to something, but we really want to belong to the group. But we're, so we say, oh, no, 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 and I can't step into my mission. And we actually have to say, okay, so the refusal of what is in the norm right now, I think that's what the card is talking about. Can we actually really ask ourselves, wait a sec, all this stuff that I'm agreeing to, all these arguments that I'm having, all these things that I say are really important to me, are they? We have to ask, is this true for you? I mean, some people it will be 100% true, but others it might be not. And it's okay to stand apart from the mob or the crowd or something. And again, very Aquarian, the unique quality of the Aquarius, even though it isn't, and it's always in the highest good for the collective, because Aquarius serves the group. So is what I am doing in service to, or is it, how is this in service to? Oh, I'm sorry, little baby. Her tummy is bothering her. Okay, so that's a good question for everybody to ask as well, too. Now let's look at the next batch. I like doing this at my desk. Okay, so the next batch is then what could be the obstacles, or sometimes these cards tell us the energy to help us over and surmount our obstacles. And let's see. And I usually can, yes, there you go, resourcefulness. So these are helping us around the obstacles, adaptability. These are amazing cards, and gathering around the power of community. Yes. What is the solution in the month of February? Let me show this to you. So the horned cactus is about resourcefulness. So the idea of the cactus, or any kind of cacti, is that they absorb water from deep in the ground, right? And they hold water in their cells, right? They are very self-sufficient. They can survive in a desert. They are resilient. They have little, they show resourcefulness. Like when it appears to be dry, and instead of looking for resources, look at the internal resourcefulness. And where do we get that from? By this card, gathering around the power of community. You don't do this alone. Again, very Aquarius. It's the group rather than the individual, but you need to be the individual in the group to serve the group, right? So this is really important this month. And Woodwives, that's one of my absolute favorite cards. Jenna did such a beautiful job on the art, Jenna de la Gratalia. Anyway, this is about adaptability. So when we think of resourcefulness, adaptability, and the power of community as a means of moving away and out of our obstacles, that brings us to this time that we're living in, that if we are willing to meditate, ask ourselves those deeper questions, is this true for me? Rising above the fray, like moving beyond, like as opposed to jumping in too quickly. Is this true for me? Or is this how I am meant to serve? That's a really good question. Is this how I am meant to serve? Is this how? And then choose to act or not act after that, because everything has a consequence, right? Now let's take a look at the hidden things that we can't see. We're going to ask Spirit to reflect to us, what can we see that we can't see? What's unknown to us out of this whole thing? Like what's going on behind the scenes? Spirit's always active behind the scenes. We are going through an initiation. Well, we know that. A little lost in space, needing direction and an opportunity. Okay, so let's show you the crossing card. This is initiation. So this is crossing the bridge. It feels very precarious right now. It does. It feels scary. It feels unsafe. There's a level of danger. But that actually has to happen. That's why you get initiated, not through happy, joyous, and free. You get initiated through the shadow. You get initiated in the darker parts of the cave, where you have to go, sometimes alone. But ultimately, at the end of the day, it's always the darker the shadow side of ourselves, where, when you point the finger and you say, oh, that over there is so terrible and awful, you are just as capable. I am just as capable. It is possible that we could be that too, right? So all of us have the capacity for tremendous good and tremendous evil that exists in every human being. So what do you want to align yourself with? Sometimes, like I've always, I know it's not a popular stand that I take, which has always been about being in the middle of the bridge, being able to try to understand both sides and try to have a nuanced conversation, which is really hard these days. but ultimately recognizing that, between two complete opposites is some kind of truth that rises above the extremes, right? And that can be found somewhere in the middle. And it's a hard place to be because nobody wants to be there. You also don't think it's good. But it's not about it. So for me, looking at these cards, this is again what's going on internally. I think there is I think a lot of people have gotten lost. And it's saying, I want to cross the bridge to find the opportunity, which is for healing. This is the caterpillar, little cat that looks like a caterpillar, which is about opportunity. And it's very Venusian, like, or that Venus, quality of Venus, which is, where do we find love in all of this? Where do we find connection? Where do we find that concept of unity? Where can we find a place where we could satisfy both and, right? And that's something that, again, very Aquarian. So I'm really excited about what's coming up, and it is about doing things differently, right? It's about recognizing when we're lost in space, we need direction. We need a new place to go. So these are uncharted times, uncharted territory. This is not about repeating the past. This is about doing the opportunity to do things differently and explore new avenues. Of being in the world, right? Now let's look at what are the things that spirit doing also on our behalf. We have all the information about how we're invited, and to see now, what is spirit doing? Limitless possibilities, stars in the sky, the galactic mushroom, divine matrix, and unmarked trail. Oh my God, these are so good. I love this card deck. So the first card I chose was stars in the sky. So limitless possibilities. We can dream a new world into being. So I've had so many downloads. I've been quite quiet, personally quiet online, just quiet, to really understand, like, why am I here? What's my purpose? Why do people follow me? What is the point? And what is the point to be here right now? And I've gotten so many downloads from my guides and just in deep meditation. And I've been getting a lot of clairaudient messages, like voices and it really is about that we are made in the stars, and we are here to evolve. We're part of the evolution of humanity, and we're going to see the darkness before the dawn. And this is telling us that, we have limitless possibilities that we can create right now. As long as we don't get hypnotized by the outer. So spirit, or, the conscious universe, whatever your language is you're most comfortable of, the universe is moving behind the scenes to help show us these new possibilities for us that didn't exist before, which I love. Then we have the galactic mushroom, which is all about the divine matrix. So that, I love this. This represents spirit, represents the higher power. So the higher power is working on our behalf. And this is a reminder that even when it appears that there's more and more things to be upset by, or maybe you're in a little chaotic phase, or maybe you're doing great, but you still were wondering, like, how do I help? What do I do? Because the world is quite daunting. It always has been, but it's really been recently that, we've had such a clear, upfront, up close and personal view of so much. But the unmarked trail, the revelation comes to us not by the trail that we've already been on. It is the uncharted territory that I talked about earlier. And this is a month where, even if you just park that in the back of your mind, this is a month to really, I feel it's a month to get curious. If I were to look at all these cards right now, and if I were to summarize all of them, this is a month about curiosity. This is a month about also curiosity within, like, who am I really? What is mine to offer? How am I to serve? Right? And then to ask for that inspiration, like, what is mine to do? Because it's not everybody's, It's not, I certainly know I'm not for everybody. I'm not meant to do everything or even to talk about everything. Yeah, so it really gets to a place, and maybe it's my age too. I mean, I'm going to be 66 this summer. I can't believe it. But anyway, I'm old. I'm not really. No, no, no. I'm actually just beginning. I believe that I'm just starting. So, but it is true. I've seen an awful lot. I've seen things, what I thought was so important in my 30s, 30 years later, I look back and go, ooh, this is interesting because it cycles. We go through a lot of different cycles. Ultimately, at the end of the day, I think that's a great question for every single one of us to ask. What is mine to offer? What is mine to offer? Anyway, alrighty. Hope that was helpful for you all. I am going to be doing a spirit jam this month in February. We will announce the date. It's going to be for everybody. So I just want to give you a hint. It is the thing that we do at the Oracle Circle membership. It's 90 minutes where I do readings for people in the audience, and it's pretty spectacular. So just stay tuned also for information about that. Hope this reading was good. Stay tuned for my next one, which is all about the Astro Oracle. So we get up close and personal to every astrological sign. I pull a card for each sign. I talk about that. And then you can add that to this and you'll get a pretty detailed, more personalized reading for you. All right. Love you guys. Take care.
Get ready